Well, while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and just kind of start with this. Um, I know right now, we're super excited about the next 90 days in this run. I don't have to tell you guys this, as leaders, you know the journey, you know what we've been through, but I know that we're built for the long haul, guys, and I am super excited to talk about this next phase, this next chapter of really taking this to the next level. And so what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to share my screen because I want you to first, we can kind of go through something that I'm going to give credit where credit is due. We've had a lot of awesome leaders keeping track of all the different items that we've been sharing and making it in a way that is duplicatable, it's marketable. Last week, when I was in the Energy Center with Margaret Dorsey, she showed me a paper that she was using and putting in her flyers. And I said, wow, that's phenomenal because, we're working on a postcard. And so this is great timing because I can use some of that to really help us deliver the postcard we need to get everybody on the same page. And so what I'm going to first do before I get into the presentation, I'm going to show you an example of how we've kind of merged in some of the items we talked to with Mo, how we've been comparing them with what Margaret has already been doing, and now just came up with a postcard that really gives us our messaging. So let's jump right into that. So one moment. Let's do that first. I think this is it. Make sure this is the new, yep, this is the new one. Okay, so now you should be seeing my screen. Okay, so now let me just make it so that you can see the window. So one moment. Okay. Oops, we're going too fast. Okay. So we know that network marketing is about simplicity, guys, so we can duplicate. And I know that, over the last, few years, there's definitely been a lot of changes, a lot of shifts, working to really figure out our messaging, right? And I really believe that what we have collectively came up with, it's a game changer. And I really know we have knocked it out the park, guys. And so just get excited. This is going to be a 90-day run. Hopefully you guys have put on your running shoes and you're ready for it because we are about to bring it. And again, I want to thank and give credit where credit is due for everyone who's collaborated in any way to really help make this possible. And so the first thing I want to do is show you the front of our postcard. And so there's a front and back. And we knew that in order to get more duplication, more simplification, we had to come up with the same messaging, right? When you have a lot of people and even just a little bit of people focused, right, moving in the same direction, that's how we build momentum. That's how we build massive duplication. And so we know that there are 5 steps to better health as it relates to how we lead with the blood type. We ask the question, do you know your blood type? Then that person has to make a decision, and that's deciding to what? Learn your blood type, okay? We want you to love yourself and others enough to learn the most important factor to breaking the generational cycle, and that is learning your blood type. Step number 3, once they've had a chance to learn it, then guess what? It's time for them to do something about it, right? They want to not only get their yes list, but they want to buy the blood type starter kit. Okay, this kit includes their digital yes list, their avoid list, a detox plan, and more. We know that regular exercises and eating according to your blood type can significantly enhance your health. And so this is our brand new blood type starter kit that, again, will officially launch on September the 1st, okay? And so just super excited about that. So we're asking them to join the campaign. Akana is committed to helping 1 million people learn their blood type by March 29th, 2026, and be a part of this, right? A Guinness Book of World Records campaign that we're striving for, because our goal is to do what? Educate people on how to eat right for their blood type, okay? And so that's the first 3 steps. Let's flip over the postcard and we can see the rest of those steps. And so we want them to do what? Develop an active family plan. That's step number 4. And step number 5, tell everyone with ears, right? Join the movement by sharing it with others and showing off your blood type t-shirt. We know that the power is ultimately in your hands. And so I am also excited about this color code system that Margaret really came up with. She had researched about blood types and really wanted to bring not just the logic to it, but the science behind it. And if you actually research, while humans, all have red blood, as Kathy reminded me, right? We had a joke about the different blood type colors, right? But we know that there are 4 researched oxygenated blood colors for humans, organisms, and species, which include red, blue, green, and purple. And so we've assigned these colors for illustrative purposes, allowing each blood type to uniquely be represented with t-shirts and other materials. And so, of course, you can see the A's are rocking the red, the B's are rocking the blue, the O's are rocking the green, and then the AVs are rocking the purple. And so thank you, Margaret, for really coming up with that color coding system. Again, you've helped us knock it out the park. And so I'm going to talk to you now about some other stuff. You're going to notice I went past, what's at the bottom of that, because we got to get into actually the messaging. And so, of course, that's a strategy we're going to utilize just to get people aware. The $50 kit is nothing you need to bring someone to a meeting for. That's something that we're actually also going to have some videos, just like what you've seen so far with Dr. Prince. You've seen those with other members of our team, just short 2-minute videos that explain it. So if someone gets the postcard, maybe they scan your QR code, go to your website, okay? But you might want to also give them more data, okay? And so we're going to have videos. And of course, you can use right now what we have, which is Dr. Prince's video that we did. But there's going to be some other tools that are developed more in alignment with the new strategy of where we're going and what we have created, okay? And so, but then what we also realized is we've got to get back into the business of the business, okay? We're excited that we focus on customers, and we have over 32,000 customers, but we really, over the last, few years, haven't created a messaging that's attracting the network marketers, right? And not necessarily that we need network marketers, we just need business-minded people, right? Because it's the business-minded people that come on board and decide to build big businesses. And that's how companies go from millions of dollars to tens of millions to hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. And so this presentation is really what I am proposing for our new direction. And the new direction is having everyone, when it comes to a business presentation, speaking really from the same messaging, creating that duplication, and having a messaging that's actually attractive to big leaders. And I know Mooney will have a chance to come and give you some opinions, because yesterday we had a meeting at the home office, and we had one of the highest ranked African-American women from the Army, who also was one of the first African-American women, second actually, but one of them was, I believe, like a relative of hers, but to earn a pink Cadillac, okay? We know that Mary Kay is a great business, but it was tough for a lot of us, Black and brown people. I couldn't even earn a slug bug, okay? And we also had another woman who was high-powered with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and she's in charge of a lot of the things that happen, along with the Blue Doors and so many other items. And so imagine 2 powerhouse women in this environment, and they see our business presentation. And again, Willie will give you the update from it. But again, we had to create something that really attracts people to not just want to be a part of this as a customer, but to join us in this billion-dollar big movement as we're moving our business across the world. And so the first thing we do, and we know we've done this from the beginning, is we identify the problem. We know that here in America, there's this new diet, and this new diet, unfortunately, is transferring all across the world. But there's the original diet. This is the diet in which many of our grandparents were on. This is the diet in which, of course, our ancestors ate. Unfortunately, here in America, we had the slave diet, which didn't do much to help our life expectancy. But we know that if we go back to the ground, back to the plants, that's where life happens. That's where vitality happens. But we're off track. And as a result of that, we've given birth to the first generation of children who are now predicted to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. And so when we look at the facts, we know that heart disease is this silent killer. We know that in the pandemic, 700,000 people died from cardiovascular disease. We know that 1 in 5 heart attacks are silent, but the damage is done, but the person is not aware of it. But we also know that heart disease is 90% preventable, which means there's 630,000 people who died in 2020 that perhaps didn't have to die had they known they can do something about heart disease. We know that if we look at our children, there's an alarming amount of our 14 to 19-year-olds showing as much as 40% blocked arteries. We also know there's a very significant thing that happens when African Americans turn 45 years of age. And I know some of you know this answer because we've asked this question before, but here's the reality. Most people have no clue of what happens when you turn 45 as an African American. But here's something that we all must pay attention to, because now at 45 and over, we are now twice as likely to die from heart disease. So imagine we have 45, 46, 47-year-olds walking around ticking time bombs, not knowing that their arteries to their heart might be blocked, that their arteries to their brain might be blocked. That means heart attack or stroke, and we're seeing it happen far too often. And so the reality is this: we see a lot of people physically, they look great. So that's how we look on the outside. But we have a saying here at Akana: what the cell is going on. So what's the reality? What's happening below the surface? And we've seen the results on the scan. We've seen the plaque in the arteries, the plaque to the brain. We know that we have something going on here in America and all around the world, and we've got to do something about it. And so guess what? Collectively, we say all the time, don't just start a business, but identify a problem and bring a solution. And here's what we know. We know that there are 5 top health-related problems that are impacting communities all around the world, especially here in the United States. And number 1, do you know your blood type? Your blood type is a more reliable measure of your identity than your race, your culture, or geography. It is a genetic blueprint for who you are and a guide to how you can live most healthfully. We know there are 4 blood types: A, B, O, and AB. And these blood types are a powerful genetic fingerprint that identifies you as surely as your DNA. And so Akana is committed to helping over 1 million people learn their blood type within the next 18 months. And so when we look at the different blood types, whether it's the A's, the B's, the O's, the AB's, now, if you're presenting to someone, you would go through this. I know you are all aware of this. So for the sake of time, I'm going to skip through some of these. But when we look at the science behind the blood type, we know that it's real because we have this sophisticated immune system that identifies whether a substance in the body is a friend or foe. One method involves a group of chemical markers called antigens, which are found on the cells of our body. One of the most powerful antigens in the human body is the one that determines your blood type. Your blood type is the key to your body's entire immune system. It controls the influence of viruses, bacteria, infections, chemicals, stress, and the entire assortment of invaders and conditions that might compromise your immune system. We also know that blood type determines how food interacts with your cells, which is why we see some people eating food and it doesn't harm them. And then some people, we see things happen like inflammation, digestive problems, and weight gain. And we say that one person's food is another person's poison, right? And that's the reality. We are eating against our blood type. And when we do this, we know that these foods contain protein lectins that are incompatible with our blood type antigen. These lectins target an organ or bodily system and begin to agglutinate blood cells in the area for disposal. When we create highly carcinogenic substances in our body, when we regularly consume foods that are high in lectins or animal protein. And so what we also know is our immune system is designed to protect us from these lectins. And if we're healthy and strong, our body's going to slough off about 95% of them. But guess what? Even at our healthiest, there's about 5% of them that are filtered into the bloodstream. And guess what they're doing? They're reacting with and destroy our red and white blood cells. And how alarming is that, especially if you're unhealthy? Just imagine how your immune system isn't fighting off 95%. And so the reality is this: there are consequences of eating against our blood type. Agglutination is a clumping of bacteria or red cells when they're held together by antibodies, which we also call agglutinins. And so learn your blood type. That's such a critical factor. We must break the generational cycle, and we know that the power is in your hands. And so when we look at the science behind this, what we do know is if they give you the wrong blood, it could kill you. So knowing that food has different plant lectins that respond to each blood type, why would we eat food that could potentially kill us or shorten our lifespan? And so what we've done is put together the avoid list with just a sample of some of the items. Remember, one person's food is another person's poison. As a blood type A, you might not know this, but something as simple as a tomato can be toxic to you. Our B's, our O's, our AB. So you would give examples of this and point out to them some of the items that you know would be alarming. But there was a book written, and this book was released in 1996. So again, we're talking about something that's been around for almost 30 years, and most people in this country, even if they've heard about the book, they have no clue of the detrimental impact of eating against their blood type. So why are you just learning that food impacts your blood based on your blood type? Why is this new for you if you've never heard that before? Here's what we know, that in this country, if it isn't taught in medical school or created by big pharma, it isn't promoted in the United States. The reality is big business equals profits over people. Let's look at cigarettes. There was a time that cigarettes were actually promoted as something healthy to do for your body. When you think about trans fats, remember when you might have been a kid or a teenager and you had margarine in your refrigerator because we were told it's healthier for you than butter. Now think about the last time you saw margarine anywhere in your household, because now it's been banned. It's outlawed, but yet they promoted it as a healthy alternative. But then they realized, oh my goodness, these are fake fats. Fake fats produce something highly toxic, which is called trans fats. And there is zero safe amount of trans fats that you could consume. But many of us spent our childhood eating and consuming margarine. And then you look at the 5G. They tell us 5G is harmless, but they line up these 5Gs in our neighborhoods. And now they're telling us that there's a new type of diabetes called type 3 diabetes that these kids are getting from these towers and from the 5G. And then, of course, the GMOs. I can remember when these were being marketed as the biggest breakthrough ever and how we're going to create food in a lab, engineering fish and burgers and everything. And now let's look at the consequences of it. Now we've given birth to the first generation of kids who are predicted not to outlive their parents. And then when you look at the rates of cancer that are skyrocketing in millennials and Gen Zs, now when you look at the fact that our reproductive issues are now at stake, because some of the kids who spend a lifetime on GMOs all of a sudden are getting reproductive cancers in their late teens and early 20s. And so we just have to realize that that's a part of how big business operates. But let's look at countries that actually adhere to the blood type philosophy. When you look at Japan, okay, this is a country where their citizens are extremely healthy. And they were the first country to accept and start to embrace the items pointed out in Peter's book about the blood types. But here in the United States, we've rejected it. So we have literally lost 30 years of being able to try to help people, but we weren't able to do it because they told us it wasn't true. And now you look at the life expectancy and you see Japan, how they're number one in the world. On average, their citizens live 84.6 years. And now you look in America, literally the richest country in the world, and we are dying faster than third world countries. The average life expectancy here in America is 76, but if we are African American, 71.8. How many of you on this line right now have already defied that and you're past the age of 71.8? And so we have to reject this notion that just because big business tells us something is true or not true, that we have to accept it. We can live just like the Japanese and create our own blue zone. And so there's evidence. We have evidence with us. I can ask any of you something that's impacted your life since we've been on this journey with the blood type, but we can also look at millions of people who have reported positive improvements by adhering to the blood type practices. By following the blood type diet, you can protect yourself from common viruses and infections and take a stand against life-threatening disease. You can achieve your ideal weight, slow the aging process, and cleanse your body of toxins and unhealthy fats. But let's look at number 2. We identified, again, 5 problems. Another problem impacting us, again, not just here in the States, not just as African Americans, but people really around the world are being hit by oxidation. Researchers have finally identified one of the most important contributors to heart disease, wrinkles, cancer, arthritis, and many other problems associated with getting older. We're literally rotting and rusting. And when you think about what avoids this, how do we stop the body from aging at such an accelerated rate? Well, here's the reality. Once you hit 60, when you start eating fried foods, it's exponentially more damaging. And so the older we get, guess what? We got to do even better. But the one thing that we all need that our kids aren't even getting enough of is antioxidants. Fruits and vegetables are loaded with plant compounds called phytonutrients, which also have antioxidant abilities. Some phytonutrients have shown to disable cancer-causing substances. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Aronia berry in a minute, but knowing that exponentially, we have the most potent antioxidant available in the superfruit world, that shows you we're already onto something that truly is a game changer. But let's look at number 3, omega-3. And let's talk about something that truly has been now a new epidemic. Here's what I want to explain. There's really 4 types of omega fats. You have your omega-3, you have your 6, you have your 7 and 9. Most of us have never even heard what omega-7 is, but omega-7 is really what also helps regulate the fat cells in our body. But when we think about the 6 is the unhealthy fat. The 3 is the really healthy fat. We have too much omega-6 fat in our body. And as a result of that, we're living under chronic inflammation. Why do we need omega-6 if it creates inflammation? Well, if you got a cut, your body would automatically start to heal. It's because of inflammation. So just remember, a little bit in nature is considered a positive thing, which is why your walnuts, your flaxseed, why many things have not just the 3, but it has the 6, it has the 9, and some things actually have the 7. And so let's look at just some of the damaging effects from this omega-3 deficiency, from increased risk of heart attacks and strokes, increased risk of depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's, and dementia. It hastens the progression of diabetes, arthritis, cancer, and autoimmune disease. Metabolic health contributes to weight gain, obesity, metabolic syndrome. It contributes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This progresses to liver cirrhosis and liver cancer, immune function, bone health. And so the reality is this: when we look at even the autopsies of women they'd studied who had car crashes, who they just wanted to see how many of them had tumors in their breasts. And when they did this study, they realized, wow, there were so many of them that they were surprised that had tumors because they were never diagnosed with breast cancer. But when they studied their tumor, guess what they found out? The tumor was loaded with omega-6. And guess what they did? They decided to inject omega-3 into those tumors. And guess what? Those tumors disappeared. When we look at the violence in our community, when we look at the amount of depression and suicide, high doses of omega-6 with very little omega-3. Our kids aren't eating the essential fatty acids they need. It even impacts pregnancy. When women are deficient of omega-3, guess what? Oftentimes the kids have learning disabilities. And so we have this epidemic in our community that no one's talking about. And so number 4 is protecting our gut. What do we need to protect our gut? This new concept that's not been around that long, probably the last 15 years, we've been talking about the microbiome, right? And so the reality is our immune system controls, it's 70% of that's controlled in our gut. And so we have to protect our gut with our fiber, our probiotics, our prebiotics, and we have to detoxify our cells. And number 5, now this is something that's probably going to be extremely alarming to some of you because we've all been doing the mucus buster. We know that parasites are extremely damaging for the body. We've heard the testimonials of people on our cleanse, 7 or 8 days in, passing a parasite as long as half their arm, which is disgusting. But these parasites are in our body. In fact, they believe most people unknowingly are infested with parasites, and it's robbing us of so many things. But here's the new research that now they're showing. Not only is this behind chronic infections, autoimmune, diabetes, chronic infection, or chronic fatigue, heart disease, mental health issues also because of this parasite invasion. But let's look at number 2. It talks about autopsy findings. Recent autopsies have revealed the presence of parasites in various organs, including the brain, liver, and lungs, even in individuals who are not suspected to be infected. These findings suggest that parasites can exist in the body without causing noticeable symptoms, leading to a silent invasion that gradually impairs organ function over time. And so what we've done as a company, we've looked at the 5 biggest health concerns, and we've brought to the marketplace the world's first meal replacement that you can take on a daily basis. And guess what? It's going to address your blood type support, your antioxidant protection, your omega-3 fatty acids, your gut health, your prebiotic, your probiotic, your fiber. It eliminates parasites. Now, many of you have already been taking the Flat Belly Builder. All we've done is build up on that, made it even better. And so there's a new version of the Builder coming out that includes all of this. And guess what? We've already formulated it, guys. And so we're super excited because this is a part of the momentum that we're kicking off on September the 1st. And so this label is not done, okay? So you're looking at a version of this that is still being worked out with our design team that's on this. But imagine we're introducing Flat Belly Fuel, where we can break the cycle, fuel our future with our chocolate berry fusion. We are introducing the world's first meal replacement, custom formulated for your blood type to help communities build generational health and create their own blue zone. So this is formulated with, guess what? Aronia berry. And they can just see the comparison between things like Noni, which became a $1 billion company, right? Blueberries, the standard aronia berry, and our aronia berry. So imagine when people get in the mindset of taking this meal replacement 1 to twice a day, that's targeting the 5 key areas that we're most concerned about here in this country, because our goal is to create blue zone communities. We know right now there are 6 areas in the world where people eat far less animal meat and live longer than average. You saw the statistic that I showed about African Americans in America at 71.8. Why can't we have an average life expectancy of 100 years old, of 90 years old, right? Like you're seeing in many of these blue zones. But it starts with us getting this message out that the American diet is killing us. So first, we have to detoxify our blood cells. And so we're going to also show you something known as bitters. It's a powerful tool for a quick 4-day detox, primarily due to the impact that they have on your digestion and your liver function. So let's look at how bitters work. They boost your digestion. They boost and stimulate the production of digestive enzymes, bile, and stomach acid, which are all essential. They regulate appetite, reduce cravings for unhealthy food. They support liver detoxification, filtering out the toxins from the blood, eliminate fat-soluble toxins like those omega-6 that happens in our digestive system. It alkalines the body, reduces inflammation, improves that microbiome, the gut, by promoting the growth of beneficial bacteria and inhibiting harmful bacteria. So depending on your goals, we also offer a 7 or 21-day raw cleanse. Thank you, Mooney, right? When I did this, he said we have to, mention more about the bitters and the cleanse. So there you go. And I think that was a phenomenal suggestion. So what is it that we provide, right? We provide a blood type starter kit. It's available for you for $50. So this is something everyone can afford, where you're going to get your blood type test. You're going to get your bitters. You're going to get a 4-day sample of this meal replacement and a digital download custom for your specific blood type. So how do you incorporate this in a 4-day detox? Well, first you want to understand that you have to boil, 40 ounces of water. You're going to remove it from heat. So you're going to give them directions on how to do it, right? How much they have to consume. They're going to follow the bitters blood type meal plan, right? You want them to steer clear of sugar or refined carbs. See, most people can give up sugars and refined carbs for 4 days. So that's a great entry level, right, Margaret Dorsey, into the fact that you then have them now as a customer. So what's your next conversation? The 7 or 21-day cleanse. But it doesn't stop there. What we now also offer is a comprehensive health test, okay? Now, this comprehensive health test will include your blood type starter kit. Now, this test is going to help you know in a matter of 60 seconds, right? Just a few minutes, right? Less than a minute it takes for you to get this scan, but your omega-3 panel, that omega-3 panel is already on every single one of our scans. It's such a critical factor, but guess what? We've not paid attention to it. We've got to see who is deficient so we can fix these problems. Our gut check. So it's going to also look to see what's going on with that microbiome, your vitamins and minerals. So are you getting the antioxidants that you need? Then, of course, your heart, liver, and kidneys. And so this is a $1,000 value. But here's what we're doing. Today, imagine if you can get all of that tested for just $189, and it would include your blood type starter kit. I mean, isn't that an amazing deal? But guess what? It gets even better, because what we're going to do today, when you decide that you want to get started, you enroll in AutoShip. When you enroll in AutoShip, you're going to pay a one-time $109 today, one time, okay? If you continue on the meal replacement, instead of $69 a month, it's going to be $59 a month. But for that $109, we're giving you that comprehensive health test. If you're in a city or state in which there's no health test available, you still get a coupon where you can make a decision to empower your family and drive to the nearest state. What is your health worth to find this information out? But at the end of the day, you receive that comprehensive health test and the coupon to redeem it. You're going to get the full 16 ounces of our flat belly fuel. So this is your meal replacement. You're getting your blood type test. You're getting your bitters. You're getting the family blood type food digital download. And let me just say this, guys, we've been leading with this 7-day cleanse, the 21-day cleanse, both phenomenal products. But here's the reality. We know that if you look at billion-dollar big companies, right, they would rather have a customer that stays with them for 6 months, 8 months, because some of the people that enroll with you on AutoShip will stay with you for the rest of their life. But some of us are chasing that one-time sale, right? 7 days, 21 days. But guess what? We still offer that. People can still buy that. But the point is we have to simplify our business and get into the business of now the AutoShip. To do the AutoShip, we have to have products that people want to consume month after month. And the reality is most people aren't going to AutoShip the 7-day. It's definitely not the 21-day. And so this is a focus, because what we also know, it takes 120 days for our red blood cells to renew. So even if they do the 21 days, they can do a test on day 28. Some things might change, but guess what? They need a full 120 days. How many people have done the cleanse and then they derail. They go straight to the fried food, the toxic food, right? And guess what that's doing? It's reversing the good stuff they just achieved. So if we can get people in the habit of coming on board with us and doing this for at least 120 days, and now with this comprehensive test, you can do it before and after in between them. Now that you got them as an auto ship, they're probably going to definitely want to do the 7-day or the 21-day. But this becomes a game changer. Now, there are additional products that we offer, right? Whether it's the CBD, the skincare, the hair care, the weight loss. And so we have the solution for so many different issues. But what is our focus? Is really helping the world get healthier by delivering on the second largest expense we have outside our mortgage. It's our grocery bill. And we have to realize that for most people in this country, groceries are killing them. It's literally inflation on steroids. And so if you can give them a healthy alternative to not just solving a problem, but giving them a meal with nutrition, giving these kids a meal with nutrition and good, healthy ingredients, imagine how that's going to help us reach these goals. And here's now for the true business-minded person. Some of you might be here listening to this presentation and you're excited about the product, but I want some of you, and you know who you are, who are business minded. I want you to put your business cap on, because it is estimated that 1% to 5% of Americans who are aware of their blood type may have experimented with or followed the blood type diet principles to some extent. And if you're like me, when I saw that statistic, it blew my mind, because here in business, you have to go out there, not only solve a problem, but you have to find the opportunity. You have to find that well of an opportunity and get there before the masses. See, too many times we get there, but it's way after everyone knows. And so this is the perfect time to lead with the blood type message. And so our goal is to help 1.5% of people in the United States to know their blood type. Then we're going to take it to 1.5% of the world. When we get to 1.5% of the world, folks, we're talking about hundreds of millions of people. And so the reality is this, if we just do that, 1.5% of people in this country, that's over 5 million people we've impacted by at least putting this postcard in their hands and help them to learn something super valuable. And at $50 just at the basic level, that equals 250 million in sales. That's $250 million with something so simple and so basic. And let's say 10% of the people auto ship, that equals 3 million monthly in sales through auto ship. And what if 80% of the people you talk to, when you ask them the question, do you know your blood type, reject you? Doesn't matter, no, because we're still going to impact million people, which is our goal. And it's not just people, it's 1 million families over the next 18 months. And now we get to the point of where we've been at, but we just hadn't positioned it with the right presentation, right? Because here's what we know. For every leader on this line who's built significant teams, like many of us has, we know that it is the first 100K to 150K involved in the business will earn up to 80% of the wealth. We know that. And we know that the formulation phase, the pioneering phase, which is being at the beginning of the beginning, being at the ground floor, is where you want to be. We also know that in it going there is this thing called the messy middle. We've been there, folks, with companies who started off just like us, right? But way more funded, okay, with millions, right? Where we didn't have that. But guess what? We're here and we're about to experience what we call momentum. And now we know that this is the curve in business used to predict success. And so according to Harvard Business, select a company at least 18 months. 90% of companies will fail their first 18 months. And here's the reality. We take it even further to say before 5 years, 98% of companies fail. So we have already beat out 98% of companies in America. And according to Harvard Business School, if a company has less than 500,000 people, it's a great opportunity. If it has less than 100,000, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Folks, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And so with that being said, I have my meeting in 9 minutes, okay? Mooney, I know you're coming to the meeting, but I want our leaders to take over this call. I'm gonna be back at 6 o'clock, but I've gotta jump now back in the car and get back to this very critical meeting concerning this right here. But I'm gonna turn it over to Kathy, Dr. Roz, Phyllis, Mooney, and let me pivot to this meeting, okay?
We got you. Thanks, Melissa.
Okay.
Wow, is all I got to say. So I'll go ahead and check to see if everybody can unmute themselves. I just have the controls. I am not running anything. So
Ditto to wow.
okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm gonna give you my little 2 cents right now, and then whoever wants to say can say whatever. So to me, this simplifies everything we've all been doing. To me, this simplifies everything we've all been doing, and it makes it so it pulls together all the training, all the tools, all the products, all the marketing, all the wishes of simplification, gamification, technology. I mean, think about the fact that we have the tools in our bioscanner already. We just hadn't really been paying attention to those reports. Isn't that amazing? So for me, it's making me now go back through my reports. Like when she brought that up, I went back through a couple of reports, and I'm looking at my fatty acids, and I'm looking at things in the gut. Guys, I'm excited. So I'm gonna let you guys talk. Whoever, whatever, don't talk over each other, but you guys can unmute, should be, and have at it.
Yeah, Mooney said he couldn't unmute, but I just did. And Angie Dickerson has always said, work smarter, not harder. And this is going to help us do just that, because everybody we have it all at our fingertips, and having it in a nice condensed presentation, I think is going to help all of us do everything we need to do with Akana.
Kudos to everything that Kathy said, and also, Bernadine. I'm excited about it because now we can get everybody in the game where people that feeling intimidated because of the bioscan, and they can't get people to do the 7-day or the 21-day cleanse. It makes it easier for them. But also, I am very, very, as a professional network marketer, I'm very, very excited about this auto ship too. That's going to be a game changer, the auto ship. So I'm gonna have to jump off the call in about 5 minutes because I got some contractors gonna meet me at the door at 1 o'clock. So I'm excited about it. And once we expose it to everybody else in the company, I think everybody else will be excited too.
Well, I'm excited because, like Gigi, kudos, ditto. I love an auto ship so that every month you wake up with something in your bank already. And
that's right.
Seamless. This is simple. This is duplicatable. This is system use. Anybody can do it. And so I can see for people that have been struggling, if they share this, use their uplines, use 3 ways, and it's not hard for somebody to say, yes, I can pay $59. What I would like, and I'll shoot Melissa a text to say, is like, it's time to sell. We got to sell right now, right? Go on the website, make that order, and so that we can be as a duplicate of the system, and we can be a customer of our own self first.
Okay, so Phyllis, do you know when we'll be able to get the postcards?
Well, I don't know that, but she did say if you go and spend an X amount of dollars today, you're going to get the price of a certain thing. So I'm hoping, maybe Kathy, you can tell me, and maybe Christian has put it on the site, that we can order this now.
Okay, great.
Hey,
Yeah.
It is being worked on.
Okay.
It's
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Minister Moon.
No, go ahead. No, go
Okay.
ahead with your question.
Okay, yes. For the people and customers who's already have ordered the belly protein builder, the other one, is it still available? I think I heard Melissa said that they were shipped out this morning, or this morning on the morning call, that they were
Yes, they're
shipped.
right. They're still available. Exactly. And just like she said, they're taking the formula of the builder and adding the mucus buster in there and some other ingredients that are going to up the omega-3s.
Mm-hmm.
So really it is, if they're already, if they're getting the, if they have the builder, are they cleanse clients of yours?
Yes, I mean, these are people, and I've done it myself, where we've already ordered that Vissers challenge that included the protein builder, and
Okay.
there was none in stock.
Before
And
that,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, oh, that, oh, you're asking about that. I thought you were asking like
yes,
how, okay, all right. I was thinking a different question. So yes, those
uh-huh.
are, like she said this morning on the call, they are out.
Okay, they did ship them out. Okay,
Yes, yeah. Mhm.
okay,
Hey,
because
you
I
all,
do
I
have
only have
customers that
about
are asking
four,
about it. Okay.
I only have about 4 minutes. I won't take long. So some key nuggets that was my biggest takeaways that I want to share with everybody is September the 1st is the launch date that starts a 90-day run. That's a key date, which means start putting your shoes on, start building your funnels. If you haven't already started doing it, start doing that now. September the 1st is, and let me say, I have been asked a lot of questions regarding when is it going to come out? When is it going to come out? So you heard her mention digital downloads. So I just want to point this out. So the people who have been getting the Black Card, they have been getting physical hard copies of what we call the menu. And the menu. So when you look at that kit, the $50 kit, the $50 kit, I just want to separate this. The $50 kit has a digital downloadable menu. Okay. So the $50 kit has a digital downloadable menu. That's the solo pack, the solo option. What you are seeing is that's going to launch September the 1st. You're now seeing an auto ship option, right? That contains the new, it's not the new builder. It is on the slide that I looked at. I don't know the name of it, but it's not named the builder. That chocolate thing that you see
Fuel,
that covers the fuel. There we go.
fuel.
So the fuel, you all, is the sample pack that's going to be included in that $50 kit, right? Because you have the solo kit, you have the couples kit, and then you have the family kit, right? So the wonderful thing about the auto ship is that they can get a whole lot now, as well as they can get the retail price of that fuel that will be on auto ship if a person chooses is $69.95. That is the retail price. If they go on auto ship, it's $59.95. So I just want to put that out there September the 1st. Key component, you're going to see this presentation again tonight at 6 p.m. So right now, I would suggest that you get all your distributors on that call for 6 p.m. so you can start building that momentum to get running. So you all, it's now 1 o'clock. I didn't mean to keep you all the 4 minutes, but I gotta go because I'm also meeting I'm having a meeting too at 1 o'clock. So, and I'm waiting for Melissa to pull up, but I can kind of linger a little bit. Go ahead with your conversation.
Can
Okay.
somebody explain how auto ship works? That's because I have to be able to explain it. I mean, are we getting the same thing every month, or we're able to order other products every month?
Well,
Because
you
I
have
can break that
both
down
of
to
those
my
things.
team. I can break that down to you all.
Okay. But
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
for anyone else who may have the same question, auto ship is exactly what you said. In the normal auto ship, when you, just like on your Amazon, or if you get the same detergent, we use cleaning vinegar. It's one of the things that we get on ours. So whatever it is that you regularly get, a monk fruit I order regularly, so you would put that in your cart and you choose auto ship. That's gonna give you a better price, and it's going to also make sure that you don't run out. And for the distributor side of it, it's going to give you regular commissions that you can count on. That's what Phyllis was alluding to, is that you have mailbox money because you know how many customers you already have on auto ship. That means you know how much revenue has been generated in your team, and you also know how much commissions to expect at the minimum. Okay. But doctor, I keep calling you doctor, brother. You might want to look into that. Minister Mooney will definitely give you more details, but that's the general workings of auto ship. And certainly Phyllis, she's more experienced than I. If you want to add more to that, you certainly can.
And let me share this, since this is the leaders. You all, first thing that I would encourage everybody to do is breathe. Breathe. Right? We're gonna have trainings. Remember, we talked about in the leadership call getting back to the basics. So I do want you all to just breathe. You're not behind. You're right on time. Nothing has happened yet, but it's all getting ready to launch. And this 90-day run starts September the 1st. So you got a window to get all the information that you need, get all the understanding. I encourage everyone to be present. Do not panic. Do not do any of that. Breathe. Wrap your head around the steps. The first step is simple, easy. You guys are seeing images of cards and stuff like that. It's all going to be available, your palm card to pass it out, and just it's really the same system that we have always been doing, but we found low-hanging fruit. So some of you have already acknowledged the messaging is easy, it's simple. The presentation is easy and simple. So just breathe. You got it, and be ready to run.
Okay, so Willie, what I would like to say is that, and to everybody else, this is actually an excellent opportunity to expand. And I can see the vision, like Melissa says, everybody has blood. And so the opportunity to, well, first of all, I want to say Melissa has just answered every question, because I've ran into some roadblocks where people who want to hear the science. Well, she broke down the science in some of the slides, and that's going to make it way more easier. And the opportunity to go into professional businesses now, go into the senior homes, the veterans, and to come across as an expert, look more professional. I'm very excited. And not to mention the auto ship. I came from an Amway world, and auto ship, you're going to wake up and be really happy about that. Trust me, just trust the process. That's one of the things that Melissa says all the time. Trust the process. She's laying it out in front of us. This is going to be digital. So it's the done deal. I'm excited.
And you know what? Let me share one more thing, because, and I really have to say this to capture where we are now. You all, the process of what you just saw has been with us way back when. And I think my adoption of this process, not the auto ship, started with Margaret Dorsey's presentation at 420. Now she's been running this, well, let me say, playing around or digging in, strategize. So when you look at where we are now, we've always had the resources, right? So when you look at the basic questions and her process that she shared at the 420, let me tell you what has literally happened. Two people have aligned saying the same message, where our CEO is now hearing the message and now putting it to a system and attaching it to a product that's low-hanging fruit that we've always had. And now auto ship. What is the product that we can auto ship? That's what happened, and this is what we're running with. So most of you have already been doing the work, and some people have already started because you took action 420 and you saw some results. Now it's just making that process simpler.
Now, are we saying September 1st is the launch for the actual product to be on our websites? or what? What's the process for the launch?
So I don't put my foot in my mouth because I'm sure it's going to be repeated on tonight's call.
Okay. And that's at 6 o'clock Central on this line, correct?
Yep, 6 o'clock. Central.
Okay.
All right, praise God. All right, you all have a blessed day. Talk to you shortly. Y'all can continue on with the call. I'm looking forward to hearing feedback.
Any other comments? Feedback?
We're
Questions?
just excited. We're excited. I'm
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. Oh, Rochelle says she is too. She said she missed the middle part. There'll be a recording, Margaret, and Rochelle. There'll be a recording as well as a repeat of this call at 6 p.m. Central. So, like Willie said, I've already started texting my team to be on the call. So hopefully everybody's taking that action. He gave us some really good points about lining up our people. So just like we do for any run, those people that haven't taken your information or taken, haven't bitten on the rope, that put them right back in the loop. So you never know. That's the purpose of keeping in touch with people. Just because they said no the first time, keep going back until they tell you stop calling me.
Let me ask
Yes, ma'am.
another question. For tonight, is this just for people who are signed distributors, not for guests?
Yes, this is not an opportunity call.
Okay, great.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. As you notice in the presentation she said today, that some things were not in stone, especially those labels. So you can believe that she's not going to have this prepared for anyone to be shown. That's why we're asking no one take screenshots or distribute this, create their own presentation or anything like that. The official presentation will be distributed, so you won't miss it. We just want to make sure that it goes out right. So just please don't take any screenshots. Don't encourage your team not to. Just come listen and absorb. Notes, yes, but things may change. So you don't want to do that and then see a different presentation or a few different slides that you didn't get, But
Right.
so like I said, everything will be done when it's done. But what you saw there is our CEO going to work day and night to make it sharp, make it simple. Even with the formulation, I don't know about y'all, but I always was putting my mucus buster into my smoothie. And so to have it already included into that one bag, and think about how easy it is to have one particular thing to lead in with, and we still have the 7-day and the 21-day cleanse, right? But having it at a different price point makes it easier.
Yeah, I'm really excited that she has the omega-3s in there because that is essential for the heart as well as the brain. And I'm really excited that we are continuously helping people and saving lives. Because if anybody's paying attention, I'm sure everybody is. Every day someone's passing. It's just a little bit overwhelming sometimes.
Truly.
So I'm just excited that we have the tools in place, and we'll have the messaging for the probiotics, the omega-3s, the proteins, the essentials that we need to keep moving forward, and then eating right for our blood type. It's just been a blessing to me, and I want to continue to bless other people.
I love that sentiment, Terry. Thank you so much. I agree completely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that we already have this on our bioscans. I'm serious, guys. I mean, think about all the people that you did bioscans for, and
Right.
they didn't buy Flat Belly from you. maybe because of finances, maybe because they weren't ready. They was getting ready to go on a cruise. They was getting ready to do this or that. And my family reunion coming up, I'm going to eat my face off. And you got to catch back up with them, right? How about being able to catch back up with them and letting them know, here's a simple thing for you to do. We need to make sure you have a blood type out of the way. We need to make sure that you know what's on your list, right? And then you can get started with this bitters cleanse. How about that? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, so that means we got a list already.
You already got a lot. You're hearing me, right?
Yeah,
You're
we
hearing
got our
me.
list.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out.
Absolutely. We already have a list. We don't have
We're
to go and
sitting on a
find new
gold mine right now.
I'm telling you, because I don't know about y'all, but I can't say that everybody I've done a bioscan with actually
Right,
bought cleanse
right,
products from me.
right,
Okay.
right.
So,
We
but
had to
I do
work our
know that
list.
I have their phone number and their email. How about that part?
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So, all
We're
right.
good.
Anything from anybody else?
Yeah, I had my hand raised
Oh,
and
I'm
I was
sorry,
wondering.
Anita. I didn't
No,
see
no,
it there.
no. I normally, and most people on the leaders call will know on Friday, I say very little. Most often I was in class. I was just listening. So I was teaching, so I couldn't say anything. But even in the summer, I just listen. I don't really ask a lot of questions on these calls. But let me open with, they always say no question is a stupid question. And if you asked it, at least 2 or 3 other people probably had the same question. So I'm gonna lead with that before I ask my question. So hopefully, you know, go easy on me when you answer. But I'm looking at I was looking at the slide, and it says one comprehensive test as well as I get the flat belly fuel 16 ounces, the blood type test, the bitters, and then the family blood type foods digital download. So what is the comprehensive test?
She's
Because I
just
see the
talking about
blood type test, but what's the comprehensive test?
she's just talking about your bioscan.
Oh, that's the scan. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's it.
So
Yeah.
you get a
And that's what I'm
bias.
saying. Yeah, we're already doing it. These are just parts of the reports that your bioscan is picking up that we're just not reviewing. So
But I
what
guess,
I'm
okay, so
go ahead.
my question is the auto ship is just the bitters and the shake, right? Because
That's
you
correct.
don't, once you take your blood type test, you don't need to
Right.
do it again. Once you
Exactly.
do
Yes.
a
And you'll see
bioscan, you do that after you've done a cleanse, correct?
exactly. And so that along with several other products, they'll have the opportunity to auto ship. So as Willie detailed, there's going to be price points for different types of product packages, like a single, a double, and a family. So depending on their needs, they can pick whatever they want monthly. Does that make it clear, Anita?
Not quite, because I'm saying if you auto, so you're saying, because I think this was part of Minister Ernestine's question as well. Are there other products, or is it just the
That was on the very next
shake
slide. So
and the
you'll see it again
bitter?
on at 6 o'clock. But the very next slide, she mentioned our other products: CBD, hair, hair care, skin care. She mentioned all of those other products on
So
the
you can
next slide.
switch out products in your auto
No, no,
ship
no.
just as long as
Well,
it's
well, as far as the logistics go in how the back office sets up auto ship, I don't know, but generally you can put several things on auto ship. You would just choose those items and you have the option to take it on and off auto ship whenever you choose.
got it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then how does this now change how we introduce the business to people? In other
Well, if you'll notice in that presentation, it was all
words,
together. So we
these are
don't
for
have,
customers, but aren't we still wanting to turn our customers into distributors?
well, just like any thing for me, I think that the best way to have a customer turn into a distributor is to have them to let you know that's what they want. But let them continue to be customers because as you know, customers are the lifeblood of any business. Distributors come and go. And so you don't want to push your customers to do that. You always want to give them the opportunity. But what this presentation and the focus and the vision is to not only focus on keeping and growing our customer base, but to really speak to someone who wants to be a builder, a business person. And so if you'll notice, there's a part of the presentation where she said, if you're putting your business hat on, so for someone who's just a customer, they might just turn their ear off. But it is done in such a way that is not invasive, and so it flows perfectly with the rest of the presentation. If that's not of interest to you, in that person's mind, they'll go, well, I'll just be Anita's customer. You know, that's cool. Now I know how her business kind of works and whatever. And if I want to do that, I'll let her know. But to those people that you and Fred know that are movers and shakers, that's going to perk their ears up after they've gotten the education about why this would be important to the masses. So a business-minded person would now then be able to take the statistics and the data that Melissa put in the presentation and realize that this could be a huge opportunity because no one in this country is focusing on this and has products like ours and has technology and training like our people do. Nobody. Not all of those things checked. And so that business person then would look at this and go, whoa, okay, it's an easy presentation because people get the examples. They get that they used to say 5G was the best thing, but now people are having issues. They get that cigarettes used to be the norm. It used to be thought to be cool, but now it kills people. You know, they get that, right? It's easy for the average person to get, but for someone who is detail oriented or science-based oriented like me and Terry, it calms that brain down, right? Okay. And then for the person that's business minded, the presentation also at the same time gives them statistics that lets them see how big this can be. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Great.
And that was a good question, by the way.
It was
Anita.
excellent. All questions are good. And Anita, you're right. There are no questions that are bad or poor questions. Okay. So never think that about that, and never feel self-conscious about that. That was a great question. So you know,
Thank-
I was giving you the way that I saw it. Those are the things that I pulled out from it. This is my first time seeing that presentation. So I've seen some versions of it, but that's my first time seeing that presentation. So I was giving you my opinion about what things I would pull from it in those different areas. Margaret says that she's still at Soul Massage Spa and can't speak, but I would like to suggest that this presentation become the new Saturday presentation that is for customers and business partners. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. And certainly once the final version is done, I'm sure that our VP of Communications will have it, and everybody who does those presentations will be able to use that. Thank you, Margaret. Mom Mitchell, you asked, bioscan can be done before and after the cleanse. Can you expand on that?
Oh, I was responding to what Anita had said earlier about the bioscan should be done after the cleanse, but it's basically I've done it both ways, before and after. So that
Oh,
was
no,
just
I understood that part because we
okay.
use the bioscan to actually, I don't want to use the word reel the customer in or interest pique the customer's interest. Let me
There you
the
yes,
correct
yes,
words. We use the
exactly.
bioscan to first pique their interest. We're kind of shifting now from the bioscan to the blood type. We're more focusing on, do you know your blood type? But I guess for me, when I was looking at the slide and I saw the blood type test, you don't want that every month because once you know your blood type, you don't need that. So that's where my question came in. When I looked at the picture of the slide and it included a blood type testing kit as well. That was my question. You don't really auto ship a blood type test kit because once I've learned my blood type, I don't need that kit every month. That's
Okay,
where
I see what you're
that's
saying.
kind of where my question came in. And then
Okay,
I
I
didn't
see.
realize that when you said comprehensive test, that was just the bioscan, because we are scanners, but not everybody is a scanner. And so that was where my question was the comprehensive test and the blood type test, you don't need that auto shipped once a month. We normally do the bioscan to pique your interest. We try to get you to purchase a 7-day or a 21-day. And then Dr. Prince always said, don't redo your bioscan immediately after, because even once your 21 days cleanse is done, your body is still cleansing. So you want to give it a little more time. That's what I gleaned from Dr. Prince, that you want to redo the bioscan, but not immediately after the 21 days, because you want the body to continue to cleanse. I've been paying attention, guys. I do pay attention.
Exactly.
So that was where the question about having both tests auto ship once a month. Why would we auto ship those once a month? I get the shake and I even get the bitters, because I'm assuming that we're now saying it's okay to do 4 days once a month, to take those bitters 4 days once a month to cleanse your system. And then we're doing the shake. But why would you redo your blood test once a month? And why would you wouldn't redo the bioscan once a month?
No.
You
You're
redo the
exactly
bioscan
right.
after you
You're
cleanse.
exactly right, Anita. No, it's the products that go on auto ship. You don't auto ship a service unless it's something like Legal Shield or something like that. But yeah, you're exactly right. It would be products, and that's why in my answer I brought up the other products that are available. So as Melissa mentioned, this gives you this starter kit, gives you a lead in. They're already your customer now, and so now that they've seen results from the bitters, because we all have done bitters, right? We know that that 4-day detox works, right? And so we know they're going to get some sort of result. I would say that most of my customers get the result of finally going to the bathroom, right? And so once they get some sort of result, then their ears are even more open to listening to, you know what, maybe I do need to do that 7-day cleanse, right? Because if this is how I feel in 4 days, what about 7 more days? Or maybe if I go ahead and do this for 21 days, I'm gonna feel even better, right? And so then that opens it. So that gives the opportunity to auto ship. And just like she said, people might not auto ship the 7 or the 21-day cleanse, but they may auto ship components of that, or the fuel, or the bitters. You see what I mean? So, and then you have that other opportunity to introduce the rest of the product. So if they're already a customer of yours, they probably already love the pain cream, or they might love hemp powered hair, right? And so if they have the opportunity to get it all the time, then that doesn't do anything but increase their commitment to the product, and it also increases your monthly revenue. So yeah, you're exactly right. Certainly they would not auto ship those components. So that's not what she was alluding to. And certainly the all of the products that will be available for auto ship are going to become apparent as we go along.
And Kathy, I want to say that when I did the bitters with Melissa, I was with her when she did the bitters back when it was 2020, 21. I'm losing track of time, but we would go into Whole Foods and she was explaining to us, to cut back on the carbs and to cut back on the sugar. I mean, and that particular summer when I did that cleanse with her, I was so intense about it that I didn't eat any fruit, because a lot of fruit has carbs in it. But we were experimenting back then. I tell you, I think I went from 150 to 135. I lost so much weight from not eating any sugar and cut back extremely on carbs, because now I'm realizing, fruit carbs is okay, but we were all just, hungry. We wanted to do our best. We were learning a lot, and I'm telling you, now that she's going to have a menu with it, because I kind of forgot a lot of that stuff. And you start changing, you stay with your change habits, but that bitter cleanse, it can do some work with weight management. Now, in terms of the bioscan, we didn't have the bioscan then, so I wasn't able to look at what was really going on with my organs. But in terms of weight loss, it won the prize.
Awesome.
That's
Great
true,
point.
Terry. That's so true.
Yes, I would say that as somebody who's done several cleanses, the bitters is the one I've done more often. Um, my Mitchell put a comment in here. I wanted to make sure everybody heard. Amazon calls auto ship subscriptions. So, you know, you can use whatever euphemism, but it's the same thing, subscription. And so we may do the same, I'm not sure, but that button is really easy to activate. All we have to do is put what products are going to be available for auto ship in there and activate them that they can be for auto ship. And so just know that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. What you saw today, as Willie pointed out earlier, has been worked on, has been in the works for a while. So the fact that you were able to see even a couple of things with the label that may not be the same, just know that the what you finished, what you saw finished there has been a labor of love. So Ernestine, I wanted to make sure that you have understanding about auto ship now as well. Not sure if she can unmute. She might have something in the chat. Any other questions, guys? Any other comments?
Okay, I'm gonna make one more leap.
Yes,
I'm gonna make
ma'am.
one more question, one more
Yes,
good
ma'am.
question.
Yes,
So
always
it's
good.
enroll in auto ship and pay 109 today. The 109 is just the enrollment fee, and then you
No,
pay 59.95,
no,
or
no,
does the
no, no.
109 include?
Of course, yes. So the slide does show it, and you'll see it again at 6 o'clock. On the slide, it shows the same products. If you enroll in auto ship, just like when you subscribe to get something monthly on Amazon, you get a better price for it. That's exactly what this is. Okay. So that auto ship will give them that price, which of course is great and unbeatable. And who wouldn't want to do that, especially if they love the product, right? If they want to be able to get that good price. Auto ship is not something that that would be like a subscription fee. It would be the way that it would work is you would commit to the subscription so that you can continue to get that price. But yes, that includes your products, not a separate fee. Is that clear?
Um, I'm still processing it. So
Okay.
109 today,
Okay,
the
109
109
today.
today.
Right, that's the product package that was 189. Okay? You save $80 by getting an auto ship. Period. Not deeper than that. That's the product package for 109 if you do the auto ship today. If not, they buy it for 189. Flat out simple.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. That you buy the package today for 109.
But you click the auto
But
ship
you,
button.
but you have to enroll in auto ship to get
Exactly.
that price.
Right. Yeah, just like
Gotcha.
the slide
Okay.
says, get auto ship today and
Mhm.
it'll be 109. Just like
Right.
when you're checking out in Amazon, they'll say if you subscribe, you get to save $20.
Right. And you're
Right?
doing the
Yeah,
right, correct.
exactly. Just as easy as that.
And
It's
you're
not deeper
just
than that.
the subscription is just for the products, not
For
the
whatever, right, exactly. And so
right,
I'm not
gotcha. Okay.
right. And so, like I said, they will be more descriptive in a product packages and separate products that'll be available for auto ship that we will roll out later. This is just that presentation letting you know what's available, what's coming, what they can get based on learning their blood types and getting that starter kit, right? As far as the items that will be available for auto ship, then you'll see those. But what she's talking about with the auto ship is just the products, not the services. Not the services in there. You're not going to get bioscans every month. You're not going to get blood type testing kits. But one of those things that may be in there, and I'm saying may, and that's a strong may, is that, say for instance, they bought that starter kit and it only had one blood type testing kit in it. Well, I need one for my husband, my kids, so I need to have a bioscan for my husband, my kids, so that may be a part of that auto ship, that, you know what, we got to have one of these for everybody in the family. So I'm not sure. Maybe that'll be clarified at 6 o'clock. I'll bring that to her to find out that. But for right now, the products is what you want to focus on with auto ship, okay? And we'll make some. I'll have a conversation with her and mention that, because in my opinion, if you're wanting me as a bioscanner to now come and scan your husband, your kids, all of that, and you plan on taking action, why wouldn't you want to get this for them? That's just a salesperson in me, right? Because when you're doing that bioscan, it may just be for one family member, and they say, girl, I got to have you come to our family meeting. We have a family meeting every quarter, and we're going to have one on Sunday, and it'll be about 15 people there. So I'm just saying, but I'll get some clarity from her, and at 6 o'clock, we'll probably have her go into more detail about that. But for right now, I think the focus should be just on the products. Any other questions or comments? I'm so glad that you guys are excited like the rest of us. And if somebody's not excited, that's respected as well. But I can't understand how you couldn't be. Please
too.
ask any. Hey, Dr. Ross.
Hey, Donna. Oh, too funny. I think we need to go on and get off of here so we can tell our team members to be on tonight at 6 o'clock.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I didn't know. I didn't want to shorten it in case anybody had any other questions.
My question, can you hear me? I got one question. I was doing a bioscan and we got into talking about everything. So I was trying to listen and do that. So I missed the majority of all of this up until what I've heard the last 5 or 6 minutes. Can we get the recording out as soon as possible so I can try to listen? Because when they do the other call, I'm gonna be in class. I'm gonna miss that too. So if I can just get the recording, I can know what I need to do today before I have to go to class and stuff. If that's possible. Hello?
Is Kathy there?
I don't know.
Michelle was asking
Did
for.
y'all hear me? Yeah. Yeah, we can get it out as soon as possible, but it hasn't finished processing yet. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's because y'all are still on the call. We're still on the call. I'm saying when we get done with the call. I'm saying after we finish. Yeah, I just need it because I have a little time before I go to class. All right, thank you. I'm done. I think she got kicked off or something.
Okay, guys, bye for now. This is Terry signing off.
Oh yeah, me too. I gotta run in here. Yeah, even if you're gonna stay on, Kathy, somebody hit the record button and stop it so it'll be finished processing because it's still recording.